story. So when he was with the Giants, they went and played Green Bay, and it was so cold. And he put Vaseline all over his body because it was so cold. He tells that story. He really, I mean, that's how, and I always remember that game because it was he and Eli, and that was the Giants' Super Bowl year, and they went to Green Bay, and you could not guard Plaxico Burress. Couldn't guard him. And now, it's funny. Now you have all these big receivers like DK Metcalf. There's a lot more big receivers. But at the time, Plaxico was a very unique body type. He could run, but it was physically, he was, 6'5". You couldn't match up with him. And that's now everybody wants that. Everybody's trying to get that. And Plaxico Burress is joining the Super Bowl champ. Giants beat those unbeaten Patriots. It is interesting. We talk about this all the time. The Pittsburgh Steelers, more than any organization in the history of the league, does wide receivers well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they get them from the Pac-12, the Big 12. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Why? So tell me the culture. Why do no team drafts a position better than the Steelers and wide receiver? Why? Did they do homework on you that nobody else did, or what?
They get in the lab and they do their homework, and they have a great scouting department. So when I was drafted in 2000, Kevin Colbert, that was his first year as a general manager for the Steelers.
Yeah.
And I was Kevin Colbert's first pick ever in 2000, in his first year as being a general manager. Since 2000, Kevin Colbert and the Pittsburgh Steelers have drafted a receiver every single year for 20 seasons. So he is going to draft a wide receiver every single year. And you sit back and you look at the, how these guys have been playing over the years, Antonio Brown and Mike Wallace and Emmanuel Sanders. And you look at Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
And you just look at all these guys that he's drafted who have had the phenomenal talents, but he goes and finds them in the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth round, and they put these guys on the field, and they just continue to go out and perform at a high level week in and week out. It's just amazing that they can, the scouting department goes out and finds these guys, and they just come out and play well.
Yeah. It's interesting. You're a former New York Giant. You won your Super Bowl there. And they, listen, Coughlin, Tom, he loved you. And then they went through Ben McAdoo and Pat Shurmur, and it didn't work. And I didn't love Joe Judge as a hire because my takeaway was, first of all, Belichick's guys don't work a lot. And secondly, he'd never been a coordinator. Tell me, what are you hearing from your sources and your friends with the New York Giants? Because I watched the Giants, Plax, and the last 6 or 7 weeks, they get better every week with Joe Judge. Every week I watch them. They're a better football team. What is he doing that people like?
I think that, everybody's kind of buying into the system. They got out to a rough start, 0-4, 0-5, or whatever the record was in the beginning of the season. And now you start seeing these guys begin to gel. But you have to remember that none of these guys had a training camp. So, their first evaluation of guys, was basically during the season, week 1 and week 2. So right now, going into the rest of the season, if you look up, the Giants have a great defense, and I think that's one of the things that's kind of keeping them in these games. And they've been able to win, 2 or 3 games in a row, which they are calling a winning streak around here. So they'll take it. But I think everybody's buying into Joe Judge. It was kind of everybody was around here a little skeptical at the beginning of this year, but I think that you're going to continue to see those guys get better and better as the season goes on.
So Bruce Arians and Tom Brady, there's a lot of talk that it's not working as well, as everybody hoped. What's interesting is you have a relationship with Bruce Arians. First of all, you were a coaching intern with him for a while. He was also, I think he was with Pittsburgh, and he was one of your, if I recall, he was one of your coaches there.
Yes.
Yeah, so you tell me, what did you like about Arians, and maybe what do you look at and think, that may not work with Brady?
I love BA. Bruce was my wide receiver coach in Pittsburgh for 2 years. And I remember sitting down in the locker room going into my fourth season, and I had never met him before. And I was just finishing up a workout in the off season, and he came down and touched me on the shoulder. And he said, "Hey, I'm Bruce Arians. I want you to come upstairs and watch some film with me." And it was the first time that a coach had really sat me down from a personal standpoint and made me look at film and teach me coverages. He taught me the ins and outs of defenses, what they were giving me, what they were taking away, getting out of my breaks and different things like that, and recognizing coverages. I think those are the things that he taught me helped my game flourish because I was seeing the defense before it happened, and I'm forever grateful for that because he's a great coach, he's a great mind. But as far as the relationship between him and Tom Brady, look, BA wants the best out of his players. That's just how he is. But at the same time, he knows that Tom has been around long enough that he can take the public criticism. BA wouldn't be, criticizing a guy that is, second, third year quarterback because, maybe his skin is not thick enough to take the criticism, but he knows that Tom can take it. And trust me, all the public scrutiny between, Bruce and Brady is all smoke and mirrors. Those guys sit down, after practice and they hash it out and they just get back to work.
So Carson Wentz is a kid that I like a lot, big, strong. I think he's really talented. But, they draft Jalen Hurts behind him, the Nick Foles story. He keeps hearing about how good his backups are. Go back to your career.
Right.
Was there ever a quarterback that you played with? Because a lot of people are saying, listen, Carson's just lost confidence. It's not talent. He's got talent. Was there ever a quarterback, even in college, that you played with that had the talent, but stuff got in his head and it affected the way he played?
Oh, man, you kind of put me on the spot here, man. What you want me to just bash my guys that I played with? I mean, come on, man. I mean, you know what? I really haven't had a chance to really watch Carson Wentz play this season. I've seen highlights and different things like that, but it just doesn't look like to me that he's seeing coverages very well right now. He's making bad decisions, throwing in the coverage and different things like that. But, for him, losing your confidence as a player, you can't play if you don't have confidence, especially at that position. Everybody's looking at you to be the leader of the football team. He's the franchise quarterback of that organization. So if the Philadelphia Eagles want to get better and play better, Carson Wentz has to play better. And right now he's just not getting it done. I can hear the birds chirping all the way down here in New Jersey from Philadelphia. They're riding them pretty good right now. So I hope from a personal standpoint that he goes out and plays better.
So I love me some Sam Darnold, but he's had a bad year, and it's kind of a mess. And my guess is the Jets are going to draft Trevor Lawrence, who's a remarkable prospect. In New York, he can sell tickets. He's a big superstar in college. My guess is they draft him. New York, you got to sell some tickets, and Darnold is struggling. Your gut feeling on, is Sam Darnold just a bust, or can he play? What do you see with Darnold?
I think Sam Darnold can play. I think a couple issues there is that, he doesn't really have the playmakers that a lot of these great quarterbacks have, playing right now in the NFL. And, he has to play better also. But I think you have to put him around some guys that, so you can see his talent flourish. And flat out, the New York Jets are just terrible right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way around it. The defense isn't playing well. They can't stop anybody. I mean, I've never been in a situation when I'm 0 forever, 0-11, 0-12, but it has to be tough to walk into the building and be confident and go out each week and perform and try to win football games when everybody's confidence is down. It's like, we're not a very good football team. They're trying to win a game, and it just hasn't happened. As far as Trevor Lawrence going there, I don't want to see this young man confidence get destroyed coming to New York because it's a tough town to play, and you have to have thick skin to play in this market. He's a phenomenal talent, but the same problem is going to remain. If you don't put these quarterbacks around guys that can make plays, this is what you're going to continue to get week in and week out. And you have to be able to stop people on defense. They haven't been able to do any of that. So that is why they're on forever. And, kudos to Trevor Lawrence. If he comes to New York, hopefully they put some guys around.